Kuzuzang Pala and welcome to Bhutan e-learning project. I am Nobuzam from Kurthang Middle Secondary School. This is a mathematics lesson on exploring 3D shapes for Key Stage 1 for classes PP2, 3. Okay children, look at the pictures on the screen. Have you seen these pictures anywhere before, or things that look similar to these pictures? Today in this lesson we are going to learn about these, okay? They are some shapes. By the end of today's lesson, you all should be able to identify and name 3D shapes. Then you should be able to describe 3D shapes, okay? And finally, you should be able to sort prisms and pyramids correctly. Alright children, let us begin the lesson then. I am holding an object here. This is called a Rubik's Cube, okay? You might have seen this before, you might have played with this before, right? Now, this is what you call a 3D shape, okay? Now what is a 3D shape? A 3D shape is a three-dimensional shape that takes up space, okay? What are those three dimensions? They are the length, the width, and the height. Take a look at all these pictures here. Have you seen them before? Yes, you have, right? Some of these things are the things that you play with or the things that you see around your house, right? Okay, now all these things actually represent three-dimensional shapes, 3D shapes, okay? Now look at this shape, okay? What do you see here? You see some parts of the shapes, right? Okay, let me explain what they are. Do you see a flat face here, flat surface here? It looks like a square, right? Now, these are the faces of three-dimensional shapes. What are faces? Faces are the flat surfaces of a 3D shape, okay? Now, when two of these faces meet, for example, this face here and this face here, they meet at this point, right? Can you see a straight line here? This face and this face meets here. Now, this is what you call as an edge. Edge is a line formed when two faces meet, okay? Now, do you see some pointy parts here? When two or more edges, these edges, when two or more edges meet, that point is called a vertex, okay? A vertex. So these are the vertices. Now, for one, we call it as vertex. But if there are more than one, we call it as vertices. All right? So these are the attributes of 3D shapes. Okay? Now this shape is called a cube. C-U-B-E, cube. Okay? Now let us look at the attributes of this shape, the cube. Do you see faces on this shape? Let us count how many faces this shape has. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. One at the back, right? So a cube has 6 faces. Now let us look at the number of edges this shape has. Okay, so let us count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5, 6, 7. Then 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. A cube has 12 edges. Now let us look at the corners of this shape. Okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it over. 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this shape has 8 vertices. Have you seen these cubes anywhere before? Well, the sugar cubes and the dice that you play with, they are all in the shape of a cube. Okay? Alright children, now before we learn about other 3D shapes, let me show you something here. Please take a look at these shapes here. This is group A. Now take a look at these shapes here. This is group B. Look at the two groups of these shapes. What do you notice? Alright, in group A, you might see that all these shapes have two congruent parallel bases, two bases, okay? Here in this group, the shapes have only one base, alright? Here in group A, the shapes have rectangular faces that join the two bases. And here in group B, the shapes have triangular faces, okay? Now, the shapes in group A that have two congruent parallel bases are called prisms. The shapes in group B that have only one base and triangular faces are called pyramids. So let us look at what a prism is first. A prism is a 3D shape with two congruent and parallel polygonal bases which are joined by rectangular faces. Now remember, a prism must have two polygonal bases which are same, congruent, and parallel, okay, with the same size. And these two polygonal bases must be joined by rectangular faces. Alright? Now, prisms are named according to their bases, the bases that they have. Now look at this shape. This shape has rectangular bases, right? So this shape is called a rectangular prism. Now let us look at what a pyramid is. A pyramid is a 3D shape that has only one polygonal base and triangular faces that join at a point called the apex. Now remember, a pyramid is different from a prism. A pyramid has only one polygonal base, alright? And there are triangular faces that join at a point. And that point on the top vertex is called the apex. Now, just like prisms, pyramids are also named according to their base. For example, this shape has a rectangular base. So, this shape is called a rectangular pyramid. Now take a look at this shape. We learned that this shape is called a rectangular prism, right? Have you seen these rectangular prisms anywhere before? Well, you might have seen boxes, right? Now, boxes like these are of this shape. Then the cupboard in your house are of this shape. then you might see other things that are of this shape, right? Like your notebook or textbooks, for example, is also of a rectangular prism. Alright? Now let us count the faces, edges, and vertices of this shape. So look carefully. This shape has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 faces. Okay? Now let's count the number of edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we turn it around. 11 and 12. So this shape has 12 edges. Now let us look at the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it around. 5, 6, 7, 8. So this shape has 8 vertices. Okay, now let us take a look at another shape here. This shape resembles Egyptian pyramid. Okay, now let us look at the faces this shape has. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. One at the back. So this shape has 5 faces. Now let us look at the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this shape has 8 edges. Now let us look at the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 at the top here. So this shape has 5 vertices. Now let us look at another shape here. Look at this shape carefully. What is this shape? First tell me, is it a prism or a pyramid? This shape has 2 polygonal, congruent, and parallel bases. So this shape is a prism. Now, what is the name of this shape? This shape has, what shape is this? It's a triangular base, right? 1 and 2 triangular bases. And these 2 triangular bases are joined by rectangular faces. So this shape is triangular prism. Very good. Now let us look at the faces, edges, and vertices of this shape. Let us count the faces first. 1 and 2. 2 triangular faces. Then 3, 4, and 5. So this shape has 5 faces. Now the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9. So this shape has 9 edges. Now let us count the vertices. 1, 2, 3, turn it around, 4, 5, and 6. So this shape has 6 vertices. Now where do you usually see these type of shapes? Some of these tents are of this shape, triangular prism. Then, have you seen this before? Ooh, we all love this, right? It is a piece of cake. When we cut pieces of cakes, we usually see this shape, right? This is a triangular prism. Now let us look at another shape here. Look at this shape carefully. Okay. Now, this shape has 1 triangular base and then triangular faces here which join at the apex here. So this is a triangular pyramid. Okay, how many faces does it have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, and 4 faces. Now let us count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This shape has 6 edges. Now let's count the vertices. 1, 2, 3, and the top vertex here, apex. So this shape has 4 vertices. Now take a look at this shape. What is the shape of the base here? It has 6 sides. This is a hexagon, okay? And there are 2 hexagonal bases here, so this is a prism. So the name of this shape is a hexagonal prism. Now let us look at the features of this shape. The faces first. 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The hexagonal prism has 8 faces. Now let us count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. A hexagonal prism has 18 edges. Now let's look at the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here, turn it over. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. A hexagonal prism has 12 vertices. Here is a picture of a nut. Have you seen this in your house before? You might have, right? Now this is in the shape of a hexagonal prism. And some of these jars are also in the shape of a hexagonal prism. Now take a look at this shape. This shape has one base. What is the shape of the base? This shape has 6 sides. It is a hexagonal base, right? And then we have triangular faces here. So this shape is a hexagonal pyramid. Now let us count the faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. A hexagonal pyramid has 7 faces. Now let us count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. A hexagonal pyramid has 12 edges. Now let us count the vertices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices here, plus 1 top vertex here. So a hexagonal pyramid has a total of 7 vertices. Alright, now there are some shapes which are neither prisms nor pyramids. Okay, so we will take a look at these shapes. Alright, take a look at this shape. You might have seen this shape a lot, right? There are tins of this shape, tin cans, and then your water bottles are of this shape mostly. What is the name of this shape? Well, this shape is called a cylinder. Okay, now look at this shape carefully. This shape has 2 bases. Now what is the shape of the base? The 2 bases are circular in shape. So a cylinder has 2 circular bases. Does it have any rectangular face? See? Does it have any triangular face? No, right? It has one curved surface. Okay? So a cylinder has 2 circular bases and 1 curved surface. Alright, now is a cylinder a prism? No. A prism must have 2 polygonal bases. Is a circle a polygon? We learned that in the lesson for 2D shapes, right? A circle is not a polygon, so a cylinder is not a prism. Also, a prism must have rectangular faces that join the 2 bases, right? Do you see any rectangular faces here? No, right? So, a cylinder is not a prism. Now, take a look at this shape. This shape looks similar to a birthday hat or a cone ice cream, right? So, the name of this shape is a cone. Now look at this shape carefully. Do you see a circular base here? Okay. A cone has 1 circular base. Then it has 1 curved surface. Then it has a top vertex here, the apex. Alright? Is a cone a pyramid? Look at the base here. A pyramid must have a polygonal base, but a cone doesn't have a polygonal base. It has a circular base, and circle is not a polygon. So it is not a pyramid. Also, a pyramid must have triangular faces, but a cone has a curved surface, not triangular faces, so a cone is not a pyramid. Okay? Now take a look at this shape. This is a very interesting shape. It is a perfectly round shape. We have footballs, basketballs, and volleyballs of this shape, right? We also have beautiful marbles of this shape. Now, this shape is called a sphere. Okay, a sphere. Now take a look at this shape carefully. This shape is a perfectly round shape, right? So it has only 1 curved surface. A sphere has only 1 curved surface and nothing else. Alright children, in today's lesson we have learned about some 3D shapes, right? 3-dimensional shapes. Let us quickly recall what 3D shapes are. 3D shapes are 3-dimensional shapes that take up space. The 3 dimensions are the length, the width, and the height. 3D shapes have some features. What are those? 3D shapes have faces, they have edges, and they have vertices, right? Then we learned about 2 types of 3D shapes first, the prisms and the pyramids. Prisms are 3-dimensional shapes which have 2 congruent and polygonal bases. Pyramids are 3-dimensional shapes which have only 1 polygonal base. Okay? Prisms have rectangular faces that join the 2 polygonal bases, whereas a pyramid has triangular faces that join at a point called the apex. A prism does not have an apex. Alright? Now, to check your understanding of this lesson, let us look at some questions here. The first question says, find 2 objects in your house and name the 3D shape of those objects. Look at the second question. It's asking, how are cones and cylinders different? Look at the third question. It says, write two differences between a cone and a rectangular pyramid. A cone and a rectangular pyramid. How are they different? The fourth question says, the shape given below has two pentagonal bases that are joined by rectangular faces. What is the name of the shape? The clue is given in the question itself. It says the shape has two pentagonal bases. So you have to figure out the name of this shape. Alright children, that brings us to the end of today's lesson on exploring 3D shapes. See you in my next lesson. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.